خمسة ستة سبعة ثمانية تسعة عشرة.
أيوة الحمد لله. Again. مرة أخرى. عيد.
واحد اثنان ثلاثة أربعة خمسة ستة سبعة ثمانية تسعة عشرة.
عشرة. Have some a little bit of rhythm. واحد اثنان ثلاثة أربعة خمسة ستة سبعة ثمانية تسعة عشرة. Do it again.
واحد اثنان ثلاثة أربعة خمسة ستة سبعة ثمانية تسعة عشرة.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Only through istimrar, doing it over and over again, do you get comfortable doing it. Do it again.
واحد
اثنان ثلاثة أربعة خمسة ستة سبعة ثمانية تسعة
عشرة.
أيوة الحمد لله. Do it again.
واحد اثنان.
Hold on, you see everybody got scared. Hold on. You see how everybody says, everybody start again. Do the first number.
واحد.
Stop. Okay, kifu. Okay, now, you see how everybody sounded off? It's like, wahed. You know? So we have to get as comfortable, which is normal. We have to get comfortable with each one of them. Say, ifnan. So the sound is if, nan. You'll hear ifnain. Both you'll hear this all the time. You know, so don't you hold on. What did he say? He said ifnain, he said ifnan. Don't be so rigid, right?
Yes.
You have to relax. You can accept it all. Right? And there's a reason for ifnain, but we'll get into that later. But ifnan, say ifnan, nan. In Arabic, an is double. Whenever you put an at the end of something, you've just added to it, meaning you make two of that thing. Rajul. Kulu? No, Rajul. Tal, Shaikh. Rajulan. You see that? Rajul. You get my point? But if you say, I saw Ra'aytu, Rajulain. You see that? So here, Huda Rajulan. Ra'ayna Rajulain. And that's the only difference. No, stop. Now, why do you hear people saying Rajulain more or something like that? They'll say the ain more than they say the an. Anybody want to take a wild guess? Or just a guess? Or no, don't say? Because most people don't know grammar. So they know something's going to happen, so they just all go with the ain. Because, hey, I know that. Something's supposed to happen there. Does that make sense? So like you're supposed to say Muslimun or Musliman or Muslimain or Muslimin. I don't know all that stuff. Right? So I just say Muslimin. You get my point? So that's why you'll hear those types of statements when you're dealing in the Arab world or people who speak Arabic, because they get confused on all the grammar, just like we do. Okay? But in English, you may think grammar is not important because you've learned it naturally. There are sentence placement and those things come fluent to you, right?
Yes.
But you do notice them when they're out of place, right?
Yes.
But because English is a language of mixed cultures, even when things out of place, you kind of get it, understand what's being said, right?
Yes.
In Arabic, sentence placement in a sentence is vital. It is very important. But there is room where even if you don't get it right, people will still understand what you're saying. Okay? Like if I say, how do I say, well, I would like something to eat. Right? That's I would like something to eat. We learned that would have to say like would like or would not like. You have to put something there. But now if I come and say, what mean food? What me eat? Eat me want. Want eat me. You understood every time I said that exactly, oh, he would like something to eat. Right?
Right.
Okay, so you may sound like that in Arabic, but that's okay. It's not gonna, no one's going to blame you for that. Just like you wouldn't blame the person who's trying to communicate with you and they said those things, you say, okay, I get it. And you respond based on the dignity and the class the person presented themselves with. Does that make sense?
No.
And the effort they made in articulating their aghrad, okay? Hawa'ijihim, what they had, the desire. هل فهمتموني؟ أي والحمد لله رب العالمين. واحد اثنان اثنان. Now, when we say somebody, we say marhaba. Right? When you're greeting somebody, you see someone, you want to get them into your house, or when they come to your house, and you want to rahibuhum, right? You want them to be felt like they are happy to be, and that you're happy for them to come in. You say marhaba. Say it. Marhaba. What's the response? Don't whisper. We're not following after shaitan. That's nice. That's your default. You can always get away with that one. Excellent. You have to be slick on your feet. If when in doubt, jazakumullah khair. You're not going to be wrong with that answer. Marhabatan. You get it? So you're greeting me, double greetings to you. Right? Marhaba. You get it? Some people say marhabatain. Are they wrong? No, you get the point. So you understand, there's no difference. Marhaba. Marhabatan. You get the point, guys? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So that's what I want you to understand with that ifnan. It affects all the words in the Arabic language. When you put that an on the end of it. Hey, walhamdulillah. Wahid. Ifnan. Thalatha. Now, thalatha. Now, when we started doing alphabet, now I said I was not going to teach Arabic. Okay? I said I was going to teach. What did I say, Doc, thought I was going to teach? How to talk, right? And you was like, no! You have to teach the people how to read, Akhi. And I said, no, I'm going to teach them how to talk. But some things I got to, fall back. Say A1 alif.
Alif.
No, A1 alif.
A1 alif.
If you grew up in the United States, you had some A1 steak sauce.
Yes, we did.
Right? That was a staple. I know some people in Saudi Arabia who call home and say, yo, bring it over when you come for Hajj. Okay? They do. You know that too. They're like, look, bring it over. They want grits. When I was like, look, if you come over here, bring some Aunt Jemima. some syrup. We were making syrup in Mauritania. You know what I'm saying? We were born, and I was like, look, where's that Amish cookbook? So we can make some syrup. But A1, say A1 alif.
A1 alif.
Then you have this one, we call this one ball on bottom bag. Say it.
Ball on bottom bag.
Why do we call it ball on bottom bag? Senorita Twin. Because there's not a dot, there's a what?
Ball.
A ball. Why do we use the word ball instead of a dot? Because the ball has a b sound, right? And the ball is on the bottom. So that reminds us ball on bottom bag. It reminds us to think of what? Bad. Oh, bottom, bottom, bad.
Bottom, bad.
Can you forget that?
No.
A1 alif.
A1 alif.
Bottom, bottom, bad.
Bottom, bad.
What is this? 2 on top, tab. Say it.
2 on top, tab.
Can you forget that? I can't hear you. Are you talking English? No, go English. You know? I'm sorry, يعني لا أفهم الإنجليزي. يعني ماذا قلت؟ هل فهمتموني هذا؟
No.
فهمتم now? So 2 on top, tab.
2 on top, tab.
Why? No, because there are 2 on top. You get my point? There are 2, and these things are called diacritical marks. Each one of a diacritical mark is any marking on an otherwise identical letter. On an otherwise what?
Identical letter.
So you have to understand in the Arabic, this is called a tooth. What is it called?
A tooth.
It's a tooth. Don't it look like a tooth? Looks like a sharp tooth, right? You don't want that person backbiting you. Okay? Right? So with this tooth, this is in the middle of the word. This is the truth at the beginning of the word, right? This is the truth by itself. Don't they all look alike?
Yes.
Nah, don't tell me yes.
No.
La, meaning no. If you don't know what this they're different ones, but they're just the shape of them all. But let's check this one out. Bottom, bottom, back, right?
Bottom, bad.
Now, if I don't want it to be bottom, bottom, back, I can make it 2 on top, tab.
2 on top, tab.
Did I change anything?
No.
Yes, I did. Only the diacritical marks. What's the point of a diacritical mark? To identify an otherwise identical letter. You get my point? So then, if I do like this, what is this? Call this 3-thing fast. Say it.
3-thing fast.
Why do we call it 3-thing fast?
Because
Because there's no, don't call them dots.
3-thing.
Diacritical mark.
That's what I was trying to say. That
3-thing fast.
3-thing fast.
It's 3-thing fat because there's 3 things on top of it, right? And that 3-thing fat reminds us of the word, the letter fat. So we can put the fat here, right? Fat here, right? And if we don't want, we can just make it bad, right? I mean tab, right? And if we don't want that, we can take this off and we can make it bad, right? Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah.
And if we don't want, we can still make it right? Is anything changed? Besides the diacritical marks?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not yeah, but you said
No,
yeah.
nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed besides the diacritical marks. What? You guys understand?
Nah.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring that to you because that is the purpose of those markings. The only purpose of those markings. Otherwise, the alphabet is pretty much the same. You know, you have it in sections. That first section of bad, tad, fat, right? Then the pot belly, jim, ha, kha. And then after that, they're just twins. Dal, dal, ra, za, sin, shin, sad, dal, ta, va, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, wa, ya. And then lam, mim, nun, ha, wa, ya is at the bottom, at the end because they're different. Does that make sense? Okay, they have no nadir. They have no companion along with them. Does that make sense? So by that time, you're used to it and you can go ahead and go through the rest. And that's the organization, the way they have the letters, the way we have it nowadays. Otherwise, the old-fashioned way, not the old-fashioned way, the original way is what you find in the Quran, in the Mus'haf, where it says, Abjad, Hawaz, Huttiya, Kalima, Sa'fas, Kurisha, Thaqif, Dadid. That is the alphabet. Not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, no, but Abjad, Hawaz, Huttiya, Kaliman, Sa'fas, Kurisha, Thaqif, Dadid. Let me show you. Get some mushafs and pass them out. Young man, go get some mushafs and pass them out. The green ones. Say Abjad.
Abjad.
Abjad. Hawaz.
Hawaz.
Hawaz. Huttiya. Kaliman. Sa'fas. Kurishat. Kurisat. Fakhid.
Fakhid.
Said Thaki or Thaki?
Fakhid.
Fakhid.
Dawid.
Dawid.
Ba.
Daw.
Daw.
Dawid. Okay?
Dawid.
Now this is called the 6 kings and their army and their congress. Okay? Now, may I have a Musaf, please? Thank you. It's a story. I will tell you to you. Okay, yeah, these will work. Hurry up, man. You're moving too slow. Get some green, the green Musafs. Come on, man. Who needs a book? That's not gonna work, man. You need the old green Musafs. Come on, pass it over. You don't get it. Oh. This one's not gonna work. No, those are not gonna work.
These work right here?
This one's not gonna work. Let me see, that one might work. Look in the back and see if it has the numbers. No, this one.
This one?
Check this one. Let me see it. Anybody need a Musaf?
What numbers you looking for?
You need a Musaf?
What numbers you looking for?
No, I'll tell you. Just wait 1 second, guys. Don't jump ahead of me. This will work. Not that one. I don't think there's a new one. The new ones don't work. Yeah, this one works.
Who, me?
So you got all, you get one for yourself, huh? Well, look at this shelf to your right. What about the shelf here?
No, that's this one. Yeah, it starts it. It starts it. That's it.
Well, not really, it's not in there.
No, it's
Now the world is changing, guys, and it's not necessarily. Who needs another one? This one. Does everybody have a Musaf?
No.
Does everybody have a Musaf?
No.
Okay, now the world is changing. I gave you that one, right?
Yeah.
This was no good. I mean, it's not no good. It's just doesn't happen. Go put these back.
The miss.
So these don't work?
No, that doesn't happen. This should happen. I'm gonna show you guys right now. Patience, grasshoppers.
You must have that.
Yes, patience you must have. You know. Okay, now I stated. Do I have everybody's attention?
No.
What I'm talking about now is not Arabic. When I say that, I had promised that I would teach Arabic, and I'm sorry. I said I would teach conversational Arabic, and I would not teach Arabic. You know, I'm a professor of Arabic, or language in general, and I love the language. But the problem, what happens with our community, is that we study the language as opposed to learning how to speak it. Does everybody understand that?
No.
And then we wonder why we didn't learn how to speak it.
No.
And why, even though we studied it, we can't really use it, because studying the language actually comes after learning how to speak that language. You know, becoming competent enough to continue to learn the language within the auspices of the language. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so, and some people have come to the degree where they can read and they can understand, but they're still not communicating because that's an exercise thing, not an intellectual thing. It's just a muscle memory, the jaw, and that type of thing. Response, and that type of thing. Like we say a word and you, Salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam. You know, some people don't even know what wa alaikum salam means. They don't have to. It's a phrase, right? Expression. And that's how beginning conversation is. But what I'm talking about now is vital, because this is why you need to learn Arabic. When I was learning Quran, I finished Quran like in the end of the 90s in that time frame. This is how we learned the alphabet. We learned the alphabet like this. Abjad, say it.
Abjad.
Hawaz.
Hawaz.
Huttiya.
Huttiya.
Kaliman.
Kaliman.
Sa'fas.
Sa'fas.
Kurisat.
Kurisat.
Thaqib.
Thaqib.
Badid.
Badid.
Now you had to memorize this. Now there's a story that goes along with this, okay? It's a book called Al-Fihrast. What is it called?
Al-Fihrast.
Ibn Nadim, he wrote this, he compiled. This is during the time when the Arabs were feeling that all their works were being lost because they were mixing with non-Arab peoples. So what he made a compendium of Arab stories that precede the mixing of their mixing with non-Arab people. Did you know that all those things we call Greek mythology, all those stories, were not in Greek? That we only get them in the English, French, German languages through the Arabic? All of those writings that we say, Pasadius and all those things, have only come to us in English through their Arabic translations. Nothing of their Greek Roman works existed. Again, we keep thinking they're giving us something, not realizing that they're taking it from us. Capiche? All right, so you ever go to school and they talk about alpha, beta, gamma, delta, those things like that? Where do you think they got that from? Because they're bad students. Even the word alphabet, where does alphabet come from? Alpha, beta, right? But that's just another bad student who didn't understand alif, ba, ta. You get my point? And ran it together. Alpha, beta. That's what alif, ba, ta. Yuharrifuna kalam Allah, right? They change the pronunciation of words and do these things. Now, there's a story of the 6 kings. The first king, his name was Abu Jad. What was his name?
Abu Jad.
What does Abu Jad mean?
Father, grandfather.
The grandfather's father, right? The grandfather's father. Okay? During the time, this is one of the oldest stories in that book, Al-Fihrast. Okay? Where he said, this is where we got our alphabet from. We're the only people that know where the alphabet came from. Other people, they just tell you, oh, the Phoenicians. But they don't tell you the Phoenicians were Arab. They don't tell you from that same word Phoenician, you get phonetic. Why? Because that's how you start pronouncing things, right?
No.
Where were they? You know, that comes to game. Where were they? Okay, sorry? Philistine. Okay, that area. Okay, duh, right? So, what's the story on how the alphabet came about? Abu Jad was the oldest of the 6 kings. And then you had Hawaz. And then you have Hutti or Haqi. Then you had Kalman or Kalmun. And he was one of the most famous of them. Okay? Then you had Sa'fas. Then you had Kurisat. Those were the 6 kings. And they lived behind a wall, a big wall. They had their castles. And inside the castle's wall, inside the big wall that they lived in, they had Thaqib and Dadid. Thaqib was their congress. All their counselors and their muzara. And Dadid was their army. That roughness, the sound says it all. Dadid. You get my point? They were Ghalib. Okay? And they all lived behind this wall, and there was outside their wall, there was a big lake. And all the peoples lived outside and around that lake. But there was a rule. In the morning time, no one could take their morning water from the lake until the gate opened and the king's men came out, got their portion of water. When they got their fill of water, now you can take your water. But there was a drought season, and slowly but surely, the lake dried up and became mud, and then it became dry and dust. And there was no water. Then a cloud came. I'm just cutting through the chase to the story. I wrote a book about it. You can get it. It's called The 6 Kings. And a cloud comes over the area, and the kings put out a call. Hey, no one can get under that shade until we get our fill of the shade first. So that's how cruel they were. Hey, look, we're going to get our shade. And they came out and they got in the shade. Now, Kalmun used to come out all the time and mix with the people. buy stuff, and his sister was a princess. She used to come out too. And they used to say, hey, here comes Kalmun. Ya Kalmun, Ya Kalmun. And they used to call out to him. And they would call out to Kurisat as well. Okay, when they came out, and they would try to get some sadaqah from these guys. But Kalmun never gave nobody nothing. Okay, he was just like that. But he was one of the well-known ones, one of the recognizable kings. So this day, Kalmun comes out. This sister was out there buying in the market. And when they came out to go under the cloud, she started saying, Kalmun, Kalmun. And so the people calling with her, hey, Kalmun, Kalmun. But he doesn't want to look at them. He thinks they want some sadaqah. We get this story from Kalmun's sister. She wrote an Arab poem about the incident that took place. And so Kalmun didn't look at her. And he goes and he gets under the cloud, and then the cloud comes down and lightning strikes, and all those people die. All the kings die. All the king's men die under that cloud. Okay? There's the story, I translate like, there goes Kalmun in all of his pride, and he went and he didn't even look to the side because he didn't want to look at his sister, and they all died in the cloud, a mist. You know? And that's pretty much the translation of that poem. Now, the cloud lifts up and it starts raining. It rains, it fills back up the lake, it cleans their houses, and they get, fuddled. They finally, they don't know what to do now. They have no government, right? Yeah. So they go inside the big gate. What do they see? There's another lake. The kings were so greedy, they had their own little lake inside, and they were still taking water from them every morning. And they found stuff that the kings had taken, even pots and pans when they wanted people's food, because they were known for doing that type of thing, especially hoppy, okay? So then they get their stuff back, and now, some miracle, people start to come to their town, start to notice their town. And 3 men from Anbar come, 3 scholars from Anbar, and they say, man, what is the story about you people? And they say, well, they told them about the 6 kings. They said, man, that's an amazing story. You guys should document that and write it. They said, we don't have any writing. So the 3 scholars from Anbar said, we swear we're going to stay in this city till we develop a writing system for you. And they developed the writing system using the names of all the kings. Abjad, Hawaz, Huttiya, Kaliman, Sa'fas, Kurisat, Thaqib, David. When they got to Kurisat, they said, let's change it to Kurishat, because we already had the scene from Sa'fas. But let's remember him as Kurisat, and they still remember it today. What do they say in English? Q what? Read the alphabet. Q-R-S-T. Q-R-S-T.
Oh.
It's still there. Kalman was the most famous, right? K-L-M-N. Kalman. Still there, isn't it? See, we forget where we get this from. But it's right there in front of your face. And then what do the Greeks do? They act like they got it. And instead of saying abjad, they say alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Epsilon, right? It's all there. They go all the way right to Kurisat.
Allahu Akbar,
Appropriate.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
But wait, we're not done. It gets better. We used to memorize this. And then we had to memorize it when you go through learning the 10 qira'at of the Quran. We have to memorize this. Before they came up with there's the number system that they use today, we call it the Arabic numbers, but really they're the Desi numbers, right? Reason why they're called Arabic numbers because they kept trying to put ethnology on Islam. And instead of recognizing us of different ethnic groups following the same deen, when our Indo-Pak brothers, we call them Desi, they invented Sifr, 0 and 1 through 9, and had that system. And because they were Muslim, then we all benefited from it. The racist kuffar say, oh no, that's Arab. Instead of saying it's Islam, you know, oh, that's Arabic numbers. No, it's not. The Arabs did not come up with that particular thing. The Muslims came up with it. You know? Does that make sense, everybody? Desi. The Desi people are Indo-Pak people. But we call Indo-Pak because it's that area. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, those are the people that came up with the numbers that we call the Arabic numbers. No, we get the number what do you call it? That's where we get the number 0 from. Cipher. From cipher. Okay? Because the way we write it like a circle. That's where they get it. And the cipher is a circle. Okay? So cipher. But I wanted to point another thing out. We used to use these numbers, these letters as numbers as well. We still use this in Arabic to outline something. You know, in the Romans, and the Catholics, when they do it, they put their funny numbers, their Roman numbers. We never use those. We use these. Look at the back of your Mus'haf. Go to the 604 page, the back of the Mus'haf, where the Quran stops and now the rest of the explanation goes. And what you'll see is alif, a hamza, alif. Then you'll see ba. Then you'll see jim. Then you'll see dal. Then you'll see ha, wa, za, all the way up to mim normally. Oh, it's right there, right? That's right, alif, ba, jim, dal. Right there, abjad, how, was. Do you see it, guys?
Oh, bottom.
The back is in the front. Come on. The back is here. Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. Sorry. Here it goes right here. Go back right here. Jab, Jim, Dal, Ha, Was, Hutiya, Kaliman, right? Does that make sense, everybody? It's right there. It's still part of our culture. No. Yeah, that's a mean.
It's at the bottom.
See it? You see it? At the bottom.
Okay? Everybody follow me?
No.
They
But
start
we-
at Kelly, man.
Depending on the book you have. But see, I said the newer books, they're taking it out. We're losing our culture, meaning our deen, because we're not conscious of it. So that's why I'm bringing it to your attention, so that you can know this is not archaic. Okay? But as we go forward, some people are trying to imitate the wrong people and taking these things out. Back in the days, all the Mus'haf, when you ever got to an ayah of sajda, it was overlined. We don't underline, we overline. That's our sunnah. It's in the Quran, it's in the Mus'haf, right? An ayah to sajda is overlined. Now, if you see the new ones coming out, they're underlined. They don't even have it. But they have a red letter Jesus. You get my point? They imitate the red letter Bible and put a red letter for the word huwa and rabb and all those things like that. This is all, imitation of the kuffar. But I wanted to bring this to you. Aqim as-salah.